What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another bi-weekly podcast. It really feels like a minute since we've done this, even though I think it really has just been 2 weeks still. But I think a
Yeah,
lot's just kind of happened in that 2 weeks. Um, 2 weeks out from the challenge, we're knocking on the gates of $100,000. So we're on the path, bro. We're on the path. But my
bro.
G, how you doing, bro? What's going on, Doug? It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I'm not gonna lie, I'm proper tired, bro. I don't know if it's the fact that I've
Mm,
just been going and going and going and going, but like
mm,
this week I felt the tiredness hit me, bro. Like I
sure.
think I back tested properly once this week, like one proper back testing. But other than
Mm,
that, like yeah, bro, it's just been feeling like tired, to be honest with you. But
mm,
my boy, with the markets going good, I'm up 6% for the month, holding on to like my profits, like not stepping out the plan. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
it's just this is a month where I feel like I could potentially hit 10% in one month, which has been
sure.
like a long time coming, bro. Like a very, very
Mm,
long time coming. So on that side, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. You know what I mean? But like, I
mm,
feel like I'm feeling the pressure now of like, I need to
mm,
wrap these last couple stages up so that I can get like my finalized plan before I go into the challenge. You know what I mean? As you mentioned, we have 2 weeks left. So it's like 2 weeks to finalize and have everything in place to set myself up
mm.
for success. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
know my accounting teacher used to say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And she used to put that saying on the papers in the exams, bro. So like I'm just like so happy that I'm like planning, bro. So hey, my boy, I'm ready. I feel excited with the trading again. I feel like I'm in a good place with trading. So yeah, at work, ah, just busy, bro. It's busy, busy, busy. But nah,
Mm,
other than that, I can say like I'm good. Started going to gym again this week. So yeah, my boy just I think that's just so I'm quite like tired. Uh but we moving now, bro. We moving. How you been, bro?
all right. No, that's good to hear, bro. That's good to hear. And just crazy going back quickly to that 6R for the month so far, bro. Like that's potentially one trade for you because I think you target 2R now and you've passed phase one
Yeah, 2 hour.
in like three
Exactly, bro.
weeks. Because look, it may come tomorrow even, so that could be 2 weeks even in. So I think it's just crazy, like how quickly you're starting to see like it could happen when we do get the accounts. But nah, shout out to you, bro, because the plans really come a long way, and it's been, I think, just mad inspiring just to see like the confidence off the back of just the data that like you've captured in your backtesting sessions and like how you've built the plan and like that's obviously helped me like position myself in a way that like I wanted to build the plan and like understanding the process, having started like almost like from not from scratch, but like reformulating like a strategy basically from
Mm,
scratch. So now it's coming together, bro. But yeah, I've been good, bro. Tired as well, which is strange because this was like the weekend off where it was supposed to be like very relaxing. But to be honest, I knew it
mm,
wasn't going to be because it was Tara's mother's 50th. So it was good to be home in Durban, like see everyone. It felt like really good from the perspective of like this next kind of season feels like it's going to be like very focused, very busy, like as we kind of get into the challenge now and like we we're not just trying to do the challenge for the sake of doing the challenge. We want to get to consistent withdrawals as well. And so to kind of just like touch base with the fam, know that everyone's good, be home as well, kind of like reignite the purpose as well was really
mm,
dope. So yeah, work has been quite cool as well. It's gotten a lot busier in the last like 2 weeks. Uh, so learning a lot. I think like the learning kind of curve is like mad exponential, bro. It's like I learn something new every day. Just in terms of like money management, like a lot around estates and like trusts and things, tax, all of that. So feeling really like good with like the environment that I'm in, even on the investment management side, but more from like your passive investing, I guess, which is really where we'll probably want to be, or probably want our funds to be, or our profits from our trading
Exactly.
accounts to be sitting in. It's like, because obviously your trading account is, that's the business. It's like that's cash flow, bro. Like, and you make that work. But once you withdraw, it's like that money's got to sit somewhere and appreciate. So it feels like I'm learning that side of um, kind of my, I don't know, that side of things, or that side of like the investing world, whereas trading is very like active investing. Learning a
Mm.
lot on the passive side, which is dope. And then yeah, the charts, bro, have been really solid. I think the past month, like kind of just leading up into this. Um, I think just starting the month, I was like a bit uneasy naturally, because it's like it felt like I've got a month to go. And I think at the time I hadn't started executing positions yet. So I was like just worried about where I'd be, and managed to stay focused on just kind of building the plan and back testing and just learning, and not let like the panic of like how much time is left kind of consume me, which I think has paid off like really well in how quickly like I'm grasping certain like concepts, and
Mm.
like how focused I am in formulating the strategy. And look, there haven't been like crazy weeks, but it's been a lot more active. Like I think last week I took like 5 positions. The week before that it was like 2 or 3. This week it's been 2, and it's been pretty much break even so far. Obviously, there's the one EU trade that's playing out really nicely right now, where I banked 1.8 R. I think I told you that risk was a quarter percent. So it was about 0.45% that I banked on that, and then the balance is running. And that's a daily position. So it's like a 22R kind of position. And I don't think I'll hold it out completely, because I have to close on a Friday anyway. But it's also like this, I've had to hold myself in this phase, because I'm like, I'm not actually doing it for the profit right now. I'm just doing it to collect data and see how certain things respond. Once I obviously get to the challenge, it will just be a matter of adjusting the risk. Once I know I've obviously got a certain strike rate with the strategy, and I'm more confident in the plan itself. So um, yeah, I'm not too concerned about like how much I'm actually making. It's like if I can close the week with like a 3 or 4 R, then it's like, geez, that's, you just, you can think of that in a half risk or 1% risk, whatever. It's like then you do the math and you'll make whatever. But just really glad with how far I think the plan has come along. Still back testing quite aggressively, like in the mornings now, every morning, and just trying to pay attention to where the gaps are kind of in the strategy. So yeah, bro, I think it's coming along really nicely. And um, yeah, looking forward to the challenge in a bit. I think speaking of
Yeah.
the challenge, I think we should just touch on some thoughts we're having around um, the prop firm that we're kind of going to use, um, because yeah, it's potentially Alpha Capital now as opposed to FTMO. I don't know if you want to shed some light on that first, as to why we going to go that route potentially. Seems like definitely, but I think there's,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll enlighten us, bro.
Before we go into that, the 6R that I did essentially, what I did was I deposited a small amount, and I was
Mm.
trading live, and I sent you, I think, on Monday a screenshot, and like to me it was just like so much more of a confidence boost, and knowing that like the risk management that I was using on this account was nothing close to what I'd be using on a like prop firm challenge account, but at the same time it was
mm,
backed by numbers, you know what I mean? And like it was backed
mm,
by the confidence in me taking certain setups on certain days. And
mm,
like that to me made me do like 5 times my deposit in like 2 weeks. And I was like, damn, bro, you know what I mean? Like,
mm,
and that like just gave me confidence. And I know we're not in the game of like flipping accounts or whatever the case may be, but at the same time, you have this nature as a trader to still want to be able to know that like you can extract cash out of the markets at any given time. So like
mm,
me gaining that confidence from like putting all the numbers together. And yes, I'm not fully done with the back testing as yet, but like being able to put all the numbers together and then like have that confidence, like, bro, I've only taken 3 trades this month, bro, and all 3 trades hit TP, and that
yeah,
speaks to like just the numbers coming together. You know what I mean? And like
mm,
also just like being able to like sit on my hands when I need to. And I know I told you
mm,
that's like one of the biggest goals, like leading up to this challenge in this quarter. Like before we get the challenge, is just like sit on my hands, bro. Just sit on my hands. And I'm finally doing it.
mm,
And I think what helped me was like when I deposited this money, was telling myself like you have 2 bullets in the chamber, bro. Literally 2 bullets. Like, so you better like be able to not like fuck up. That's it. So don't
mm,
take the trades that's gonna like put you or set you back at any point. Just take the trades that if you're gonna lose, you're gonna feel like you followed everything in the strategy and like played out the way it's supposed to play out. You know what I mean? So that being said, like I think the confidence is starting to like get up there too now, because like I'm taking these trades and I can see like the money changing and I can also withdraw at any point. You know what I mean? So
sure.
yeah, but getting into the question that you actually asked, it's pretty much set in stone, guys, that like we won't be going with FDMO at this current moment. I want to make that a big point, that at this current moment we won't be going to FDMO just because of the like I'd say life, and it's just like the with the rand being as weak as it is, like to the euro specifically, you need to be able to basically like save up quite a bit. And so, like, with that being said, we're going to be, as Sam mentioned, going with Alpha Capital, but it's literally just a bridging or stepping stone for us to get to FDMO, and hopefully not the 100K, but the 200K challenge soon enough.
Mm,
So like for me personally, I know this month has been pretty tough just because like I had to put a considerable amount away for the challenge, and then next month I would have had done the same thing in order to purchase the challenge. And then you just live in a life that's like sub optimal to like anything, because you can't really do any of your like normal things. A lot of things take a hit. Now at the same time, what has happened to me is that like because it's affecting me that much, I end up putting in more work, which is good. Like I end up just
mm,
like being able to put the work in, and I know that now when I purchase the challenge, like I'm gonna understand that like I had to go through a time of like, hey, bro, you can't do this shit because hey, it's chai. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
hey, it's a bit difficult that side. They're the youngest, bro. So
sure, sure.
like I'm gonna have that aspect of like, is this trade, like I'm not gonna just be taking trades for taking trades sake because I have a 10K or I have a 5K account. It's not as simple as just like saying this is like one small portion of my salary, and so now it's like I can take as much trades as I want to. No, like we go in with this as a stepping stone to get the bigger account ultimately at FDMO. But like for
Mm,
now, we're gonna be going with Alpha Capital just because I can speak from my side. Finances been a bit like, yeah, just a bit tight. And we can go with FDMO, to be fair, we can, but then it's going to be making our living basically, or my living just a bit like tighter for next month. And you end up like making every other month after that a bit difficult. And I think the
mm,
best other option than FDMO is Alpha Capital, just because they have the credibility behind them. They have a lot of credible sources backing them. And I don't think that we're gonna like make this our only prop firm. I think for me personally, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna purchase Alpha Cap and then I'm gonna continue saving. So then even when I do pass and I can withdraw, I at least have savings built up to then get FDMO a bit faster, just because of FDMO's credibility and their longevity in this space. But that's from my side, Sam. What do you have to
Mm.
say about the whole switching of the prop firms from obviously FDMO to Alpha Cap? And how are you
Sure.
feeling so about Alpha Capital, bro?
Mm. Yeah, look, bro, I ain't gonna mince it, bro. Alpha Cap got a discount. They got a 30% discount at the moment. FTMO 100K account would have been 10,500. Alpha Cap with the
11,000,
10%
bro.
discount is gonna be 6,500. So
11.
that
It's 11
obviously
and a
was the
half, my
first
boy.
thing. About 11 and a half. Look at that.
It's el- it's
So
11 and a
I
half,
think
bro.
that automatically like gets you interested because like you said, at the moment, don't have a lot of disposable income. We were obviously saving up towards it, but even over this period, these few months since we start like announced the challenge, there's been unexpected costs. You know, Tara and I moved from Durban to
Uh,
Cape Town, which was like
bro,
mad expensive. Cost of living's a bit different out here. We both kind of took a knock on our salary. So we're gonna make a plan for the challenge. It was always gonna happen. But if when things align and you know life says here's a discount, also I don't know if that discount's still going to be valid when we do the take the challenge. I hope it is. That's something we must actually check. um but looking at Alpha Cap, like Marcy said, a lot of credible names in the space, you know, have good things to say about it. The challenge rules themselves as well, when you look at them, very much similar to FTMO, unlimited days, two phase, 8%, 5%, balance based drawdown, which I like. One area where I think Alpha Capital's got the upper hand is that you can hold trades over the weekend on their normal account. On FTMO, you need to be on the swing
you need a
account,
swing
which
account.
is slightly lower leverage. Um, but that's something that I've been seeing in my back testing that really reduces profitability, at least for my strategy, where I can hold for a couple of days because I may be targeting a 4 hour TP, buy stops, sell stops,
Hmm.
whatever it is. So I'm really going to enjoy that element of it, because even for this trade now, the EU trade, it's a daily setup technically. But I'm going to have to close it tomorrow and look for re-entries next week if they come. But obviously, where I've entered now, if we start, you know, shifting structure on your 4 hour, we haven't yet. That's obviously my stops are well protected above there. So I think that's one area where Alpha Cap has got the upper hand on FTMO. But like Marcy said, it's, you know, circumstantial that we're going to go for it now. FTMO still is the biggest name in the space and the most credible. And so I think, me personally, I want to say once I've invested in this account, my withdrawals must fund my next accounts, because it's like a business. You invest in a business, but it needs to start generating you an income for you to grow it, to also prove that like this thing that you're investing in can give you some sort of return on capital. And so I think I may look at either buying another 100K challenge on FTMO to have obviously then 200,000, but obviously the risk then diversified across two prop firms, because I know there's certain apps where you can link those accounts and then obviously take the same position,
Hmm.
or just get the 200K on FTMO, um, depending on how the experience is with Alpha Capital. But yeah, I think definitely as a starter, Alpha Cap, is probably what we're going to go for. It makes sense from a budget perspective. Like Marcy said, you end up like scrimping in so many like other different areas of your life that it's like it becomes hard to just kind of like live normally, which is fine. Look, we were willing to sacrifice, you know, whatever to get these challenges, but if it's possible and you don't have to take as much of a knock, then that's something we're always going to consider. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's kind of like
100%.
my comment
100%, bro.
on it.
And just to also add, another big thing that I like about Alpha Capital compared to FDMO is that they have their own broker, bro. Like
Mm,
they own their own broker with regards to the broker that you're trading on. So what that means is they fill the orders and everything, they cover liquidity. And yes, you trade in a virtual account essentially, and that's what you're doing with all prop firms. But I think for me, it's a big thing just because they're not going to be affected by a lot of like these other things like MMF or like not MMF, but the previous prop firm that I was with. I can't even remember the prop firm's name, but they won't be affected by many of those things. And if you look into the owners, they look quite credible too. So I think from
mm,
that perspective, other than it being like way cheaper with the 30% discount compared to FDMO, I think there's a lot of things that I like about them. Me being a day trader too, the fact that they don't have commissions, like because of them having their own broker, they can have those
mm,
types of things in place. The slippage,
no
what it seems, is
advantage.
that it's quite low. Over the next 2 weeks, I think I will be taking a free trial alongside trading live just to make sure that like I can acclimatized to speed and acclimatized to all of those things before we actually
Mm,
purchase the account, and just like having as a step for like me being used to like how things play out on their platform, get used to like
mm,
if I get bumped up on my positions, my stop orders and everything, just get used to it and be able to acclimatize to everything with their specific rules that they have in place for their brokers, etc., etc. So from my
mm,
side, I like the fact that like we can use this as a stepping stone going into FDMO. And I also think just like with everything coming together now, as you mentioned, I think the ROI factor for me personally now is just way better than previously when I was going into other platforms. I'd always say like I'd want to save up as much as yes, I do want to continue saving up. At the end of the day, you want to see, as you mentioned, that money coming in from like your trading, being able to pay for more accounts. Like one of our boys, Nipo, he got an FTMO account, made a withdrawal, then he purchased a second account, 200,000 with Alpha Capital, and now he's
mm,
able to basically see that the business is growing from the business's funds
mm.
essentially. And
Yeah,
that's what we want to see. You want to be able to see that like your business moves forward on the basis that it's profitable and not on the basis that like you pumping in cash all the time, because then you're going to be a basically a debt driven business. You're making debt to your own business and you driving
sure.
equity via debt. And so like the debt equity ratios are really going to be out of place at that point in time. So you really want to start to see money start flowing in via the income statement to then start running the business and running like the expenses of the business. And one of the expenses is obviously purchasing more uh
Yeah.
challenges, funding your own account, etc. And then like
Mm,
once that income comes in, you can then see the income cover the expenses, which then you basically start to see the income statement flowing to your balance sheet via income essentially and not via debt all the time. So then that ratio
mm,
starts to play out and you start to see a good, basically a liquid business that's running. So ultimately, we're not
mm,
just traders. You do want to look at it from a business perspective, as you mentioned, Sam, and you want to start almost like just considering the fact that like you can't always just pump money into something. You need to
mm.
start to see that like things start bringing something out. And I think this
Yeah.
month has also just been a big a big realization for that, also for anybody that as like stop trading live in the process of like prepping for a challenge or whatever the case may be, because they want to save money. I'd say like if this is like a low motivation, just put
Mm,
the youngest in there and trade with the smallest lot sizes so that you can keep that confidence in the live market growing and like continue
mm,
seeing the money grow. Make withdrawals, whether it's the smallest amounts, doesn't really matter. Make those withdrawals, make like see see the confidence grow as you take the trades, basically like your confidence now after that EU trade and you saw the money starting to change in your FDMO challenge, like you can feel the
mm.
confidence like starting to grow, you know what I mean? And I think that's that's one of the main factors that I think, like, in the process of like doing all the other challenges, I feel like I stopped. And like, yes, you're taking paper trades, and yes, you're doing all of those things, but there's nothing that can mimic live conditions like live conditions. So I,
Yeah.
my biggest encouragement is just stay in the live markets as long as possible, as much as possible, and yeah, just continue trading, bro. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie, Sam.
Nah, very keen, bro. And yeah, I think this was kind of just a bit of an update on like where we at, but I think it's just crazy, bro. Like it's probably the most confident I think been this year in the plan, and I know you can resonate with that. But it's also like there's almost just like this like calm like confidence in that like this thing's actually gonna play out, bro. And I think it's also a combination of seeing like friends, Nipo, NK, go up their accounts, like they're trading 100K, 200K, whatever it is. Um, and you know, it's that thing of like you see it's possible, and we know like our process. We've been so process driven like throughout this entire like build up to the challenge. Um, that it's just like it's a matter of time. Like I'm not like the doubt is so minimal at this point. Like there is hardly any doubt. It like the only doubt is that it may not be this challenge, but there is no doubt that it will happen. I'm also not putting pressure on when
Yeah,
is it going to happen. That's like the crazy thing to me. Like I'm not even stressed that this challenge may or may not work out. I'm just focused on building data, taking setups, following the plan, like whatever comes as a byproduct of it. And you can see it. And it's like, yeah, just when you look back, like even 2 months ago, bro, it felt like I was in a completely different space. Even 3 weeks ago, bro, with the plan. Like I remember this one back testing session, bro, where I took 6 trades, 6 losses. The way I was demoralized after that back testing session, bro. But like I kind of came out of that and I was like, the fact that I could identify like 6 trades over 2 weeks is like testament to like how much I've like progressed. And when I went back and was like looking at like what wasn't working in those 6 trades, it's like the results like almost immediate. Well, fuck, I didn't say immediately, but it took 6 trades to like see, but it was all in a session. So I guess I wasn't reflecting. But it was like from that next session, from like the next live trading conditions, there's just like a different way you approach the markets when like you've got this level of confidence in
yeah,
like what you're doing and like you've seen something so many times and like I can almost start to like resonate with like how you've been speaking for so long because it's like the sixth sense, like when to execute, when not to execute, but also that's obviously guided by like your plan. And like it feels so good to be in a position where there's a plan that you like confident works, even if it's like to a very small degree. Like the fact that I can take win, loss, maybe win, loss, win. It's like there was a point beginning of the year where I was like 8 trade losing streak, and it's like you just not wasn't sure what was going to happen, what was going to transpire, but it's like there's real confidence, but like backed by real data and like
yeah,
consciously trading the plan, not just take shooting from the hip, bro. So in my mind, there's like no doubt that we're gonna get we're gonna pass the challenge. Um,
exactly,
I'm not gonna force it. I don't think
exactly,
you're gonna force it either. I think we've really grown in this time. Um, it's so exciting to think what's coming like as a result of this because like we've been putting in the work, bro. Like we've really put in the work,
bro.
and I really believe we've stuck to what we said we were going to do in this time. Hence, there's like this detachment from what's going to happen because I'm like, either way, I gave it all, like my all, building up to this with everything that was going on and the move and whatnot. It's like I gave it my all, like, and that's all I wanted, kind of building up into this was just to be able to get
Exactly,
to
bro.
that point and say that
Exactly.
I put in the work, and I didn't fucking waste time and I wasn't lazy. And no, we stepped up to it. But that was also the point of setting the goal, was to demand more from ourselves.
Exactly,
And I'm just fucking amped that like we stuck to it, bro. So
bro,
it's
bro.
it's yeah, it's a crazy
And
feeling. Like you feel it even
that's
though
the
it hasn't
biggest
happened,
part of it.
you aligned with it. Sorry, bro. Yeah,
Exactly,
I was
exactly. And to
done.
me, like that's one of the biggest things. Uh, I remember that one Saturday when we had our pod and we decided that this is what we're gonna do, and we set the deadlines and everything. And yes, we moved it because
Mm,
we like didn't feel at the time that it would be like the proper deadline. But with us moving it, we said that
mm,
that's gonna be the deadline and that's it. And I feel like with us making that date set in stone that we'll purchase this account on the 1st of September, essentially, or the end of August, uh, like it's given us so much fire and it's like kind of done what we needed to, like give us that exam prep essentially and give us that time to like
mm,
study and put the work in. And now you know that regardless of whatever happens, like you've put the work in, like you will be the trader
mm,
regardless. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, and like speaking to the time factor that you brought up, one of our mates, he just passed the chat or he passed phase one of Alpha Cap, as we mentioned, Nipple. Uh, he
mm,
passed that thing in like 2 weeks, I think. But his first 100K literally took him like 9 months to pass, almost a year to pass.
mm,
And like that, and then after the year or 9 months that it was taking to pass that challenge and verification at that, took him 9 months, made his first withdrawal, I think within the first quarter, and then he passed another challenge after making that first withdrawal. So it's literally, I think it's
mm,
literally just a matter of taking your time, as Sam mentioned, not having like not worrying about anything because everything else is a byproduct of the work that you put in and being process driven, right? So as long as you
mm,
follow your plan and we follow our plan, I feel like things are gonna come together. And once things do come together, like I feel like I've seen it very close now too. So it's way more than
mm,
just seeing it online. Like very close with the boys, Nipo, NK, like multiple times. It's like happened where
mm,
like one challenge and then the next challenge and then probably the next challenge and withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal. So it's a matter of like just being able to like trust the process and being able to really just like trust the work that you put in. And I feel like now that we've done the
mm,
work and like yes, it's taken a lot out of us and yes, we've put in everything that we needed to and we're going to continue for the next 2 weeks. I feel like
mm.
and after that too, because it's not just about passing the
After that,
challenge, but
yeah.
it's about like staying consistent and getting those withdrawals. I feel like right,
Mm,
exactly, bro. And then right after that, like it's just gonna be a like momentum, bro. Like you can't stop a
mm,
person that's in momentum. It's just like harder
nah,
to stop a person that's within momentum. You know what I mean? Like, and we
mm,
got the ball rolling now, bro. So now it's just about like continuing with that momentum into the challenge and understanding that like market conditions are going to come, market conditions are going to go, different things are going to
mm,
happen worldwide that's going to affect pairs the way they affect pairs. But at the end of the day, as long as you stay true to your plan and stay true to what you prepped for, then
mm.
things are going to play out the way they need to. Like, and that's
Facts.
where I'm like where I'm just going to trust the process. Like I've done what I've
Sure.
needed to do. So now as a trader, it's just about like holding my head high, staying true to the process, and just understanding that I just need to stay disciplined within live market conditions, not get ahead of
Mm,
myself, not get in the way of myself, but just understand that like, hey, bro, just do exactly what you need to do. Take the trade, walk away. Here's what it is. Done. Then I'm
yeah.
calm. Like,
What
then I'm
more can you
calm. If
do?
I can mimic, bro, if I can just mimic what I've done this month, every other month, I feel like I can I can go to bed every night washing my hands, washing my face, going to a shower and say, hey, bro, like I'm following the
I put in the
process. You
work.
know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And that's
So
what's like keeping the excitement and keeping like everything just
mm,
moving forward, bro.
yeah, that's facts, bro. So yeah, I think our next podcast will literally be the 31st. If I was just checking the calendar, 30th. which was that last Friday before we purchased the account. So crazy, like the last 2 weeks been so much growth. Like you've been up 6R already in like this last 2 weeks. Like I think let's just keep doing what we're doing, bro. Like we're saying,
Exactly.
nothing's gonna change, really. Like the point was to get this momentum going, but nothing actually changes. Like you just purchase the account, but I think the key is just it's not significant like that, bro. Like nothing in our actions are going to change, which is what you've just said now. And I think if we can just do that and just maintain the discipline, follow the plan, keep learning, because I'm like, shit, I've got a long way to go before I can start like refining the plan properly. Even in like the content that I'm learning, like on ICT, it's like there's still so much more to learn. Like I feel like I've barely scratched the surface, but I'm at a point where, we can formulate a plan and follow it, and it can be profitable from like the back testing we've done and all of that. So I think it'll just be cool in our next session to just obviously go back to the parameters we set for ourselves in terms of like how many trades we said we were going to journal, all of that, and then kind of report on like where we at on that, like how far have we come, like
Yeah.
kind of like that journey of like what did we do to get to that point, and like communicate our plans maybe, um, so that everyone knows like this is the plan that boys are going with into their respective challenges. um because yeah, it's been dope documenting this journey, bro. It's like whenever I think, like always, like at the end of a backtesting session, I'm like, nobody must say shit to me, bro. I told Oaks everything on YouTube. I told Oaks
Bro,
everything. Anyone comes with me with shit, saying, "Oh, Samo, Contrade, oh, Scap." Look at my fucking YouTube, bro. Look at
bro,
Marcy's YouTube, bro. Everything's
bruh,
there. So
mate.
I'm amped that we've documented this, because it's like I think just also for us to look back and kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like when you not reflect, but it's like when you
Reminisce.
actively like, maybe not reminisce, but I've lost it. But it's like just to kind of see where we were at in different phases, and there's still nuggets that we're going to go back and pick up on, and things that we've said that are going to contribute to our growth still down the line. So has been really dope, bro. But
Yeah,
yeah,
really, really
any
dope, bro.
closing words from you, my G?
Uh just continuing to enjoy the process, bro. Like just continuing to move forward. Obviously, finalizing the plan, looking to tap out a new plan soon, and just like have that document prepped and ready to go for the 1st of September, bro. Like that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
I know it takes a lot of work, a lot of like time going into that, like, but the good thing is that like the notes are already there, everything's ready, and it's gonna be so much more easier knowing that like this time around it's backed by data, and not
yeah,
data that's like the most recent quarter or the most recent 20 trades. It's backed
mm,
by a lot of data, and it's backed by like my confidence too in knowing that I put the work in to get that data. I didn't get it from
mm,
anybody else, you know what I mean? And I didn't
mm,
like just trust and believe what somebody said. I went ahead and I put the work in, and I believe in what I do and what works for me. And so yeah, with that being said, bro, do you have any last thoughts there?
nah, I've said my piece, bro. You can take us home, bro. Take us home.
Okay, so then from the boys at the Modern Day Trader, don't forget that your unmatched perspicacity, coupled with your sheer indefatigability, makes you a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Peace out.
Thank God. Thank God. Peace.